15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRnetworks.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Real Steel?
Cavebabble.
Hello and welcome to Cavebabble episode 269. This week's episode, Real Steel. This episode is brought to you by a boy and his bot. Oh. Hi everyone, this is Eric.
And this is Valerie.
Welcome.
And every boy should have a bot.
Welcome to our podcast, and yes, every boy should have a bot. Why didn't I have a bot when I was growing up?
Because they weren't available.
Do you know why you didn't have a bot?
Because they definitely weren't available.
No, because you're not a boy.
Oh. How do you know?
Why can't girls have... That's a loaded question right there.
Maybe deep in my heart.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking too. Deep in your heart.
Deep in my heart.
Oh my God. We're going to have to put a rating on this show.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, why can't girls have bots? It could be a girl and her bot, although...
It could be.
Well, it wouldn't be this movie though. So.
Girl and her bot, like Bumblebee. There you go.
Right. Bumblebee is a girl and her bot.
See? Yep. So it can, yep.
Right. It can happen. It happens all the time.
It does.
How are you doing?
Now that bots are available.
How are you doing today, whether you have a bot or not?
Doing great. We've got beautiful sunshine on a snowy day. Yeah. Glistening off the pure white snow.
Okay, there's your weather report. On to the movie. Here we go. This is the second in our series of films that take place in the year 2020. Why would this one take place in the year 2020? We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
No, you go ahead. No, you were going to say
I was going to say the reason being is because the director did that on purpose. He didn't want to jump this too far into the future because he wanted it to have a more real feel to it.
The real feel of Real Steel?
But just 9 years later? We're going to have all of that's in this movie just 9 years after it was filmed, huh?
Uh-huh.
Oh, why not? It's an alternate Earth. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we discussing today? The 2011 science fiction, boxing, whatever, classic? Maybe, maybe not. Real Steel.
You know you're bringing him home in pieces, right?
Whoa! He's smaller and weaker. He's gonna get his ass kicked.
I need you to teach him to box.
Are you kidding me?
You know this fight game inside and out. He needs your moves, your commands.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
And I know I've done all kinds of wrong by this kid. I just like to do one thing right.
Directed by Sean Levy.
Yeah, now Sean Levy currently, he's working on a lot of stuff. But he, I guess, maybe right now is most known for Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yep. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know him by name is the thing. Maybe I should, but I don't.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I should say right up front, this is the very first time either of us have seen this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sci-fi fan. I have a huge sci-fi collection. How have I not watched this before?
Right. And why is it not in our collection? Because this could be one that, I don't know, could we watch it? Well, I guess we'll talk about that. Because, could we watch it again? Probably.
I could watch it again in the way that I can watch any of those sports, any Rocky movie. If you can watch a Rocky movie a second time, you can watch this one again. Because that's what this is. And I'll just say it this time and try not to mention it too many more times. This is Rocky with robots.
Parts of it are. And we'll talk about that too through this.
Yeah, we will. So yeah, I don't know. I think it came and went, and I was interested in it back then, but we never went, and it was just kind of like I guess one of the later Transformer movies. It was like, well, I'm interested, but obviously not enough to bring it home. And I'm sorry I didn't do it before now because, yeah, I totally enjoyed this movie. Even as tropey as it is, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Right. And I think 2000, we don't just go off to the movies to watch just any film these days just because it is so expensive. So we do nitpick what we actually go see at the theater so maybe that's what occurred with this is we chose, well, do we really need to see this on the big screen? Probably not. And then it went out of our heads. Yeah, we never thought about it again, probably.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but we've made up for it now, and now we're going to chat about it. So there.
Yes, we are. So what's this movie about? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I can do that, and then we can go cast list, yeah.
Okay, what's this movie about?
I just love this description because it's so darn short, and a whole bunch of other ones on IMDb are way too long, so I guess I'll just use this one. What's this movie about? In the near future, robot boxing is a top sport. A struggling ex-boxer feels he's found a champion in a discarded robot. Well, yeah, but there's a whole sun thing, and there's a whole... What the
that
heck?
Doesn't describe it at all, because the ex-boxer didn't feel he had a champion at all. It was the sun so that's not a good description at all.
Yeah, he was an asshole through 3/4 of this movie.
Right. It was the sun that saw a champion in the discarded robot. Yeah, not him. Yeah, that's wrong.
That's right.
That description's wrong.
This is washed up ex-boxer goes around on this like a country circuit of robot boxing, barely scraping by, and he's in debt and everyone wants to kill him, type of, all of that.
Because he owes everybody.
Right. And suddenly, of course, out of the blue, his past comes to haunt him because not only does he have a son, but his ex-girlfriend, the mother of the son, has died. And of course, he has custody. Well, they want him to have custody. And it goes from there. So, of course, as soon as you step into that ring, you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it was a very predictable movie, but it didn't take away from the enjoyment.
Will he find a way to bond with his son? Will he find a robot and compete with it? Well, his son does, really.
You're right.
Yeah. This is a boy in his bot, not a man in his bot. And
it has an all-star cast, which we were there again. What you're saying? I mean, it has so many actors and actresses in here that
it might as well be a Marvel movie.
There you go.
Let's just get to it. Who stars in this? First of all, Hugh Jackman plays Charlie Kenton / Wolverine.
But I'm here right now. And if you're up for it, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah, and he must have really, he played this character well, but it is I thought, this is not Hugh Jackman, he would never be this person, but he plays this Charlie Kenton very well.
He is kind of in the bad attitude, curmudgeon Wolverine role. He's kind of like that as Wolverine.
In Wolverine, he cared about people, at the beginning.
You got that right.
In the beginning, this guy only cares about himself.
He's an asshole. He really is.
And that's not Hugh Jackman.
No, he really is not a nice guy. But I think he plays that kind of role just fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He played it very well.
And for 2011, of the cast, he's the one that has, I think, changed the most since then. Poor guy, because he shows his years a little bit these days compared to this movie. He looks like a little kid in this movie to me.
Yeah, he looks very young in this. But there again, was it the lighting that made him appear young?
Yeah, that's it. I think it's the lighting.
It was the soft mood lighting of this.
Oh my God, he looked hot, didn't he?
He did.
Well, he always looks hot.
He always does. He works hard to maintain that body, I would imagine.
He works hard for his body. Let's move on to Dakota. Okay, who's next? Dakota Goyo plays Max Kenton, the son.
I'm either coming with you or you're fishing for your keys in the sewer. Your choice. What's gonna be, old man? Oh my God, that was close, wasn't it?
The boy of the boy in his bot. I think he did a great job.
He did. He's born August 22nd, 1999, Toronto, Canada, which is interesting because Hugh Jackman was born in Canada.
Well, there you go. Are you sure that he's not Hugh Jackman's son?
You know, I...
Are we breaking? We're breaking news here. Cavebabble's breaking news.
It's like, no, he's not.
Dakota is Hugh Jackman's son.
Not. Don't even start that rumor.
This kid, who's not really much of a kid anymore, he has not been in anything since 2014, 2015. So what is up with him? He played young Noah in Noah back in 2014 and played Luke in The Journey Home in 2014, and that's the final credit. I wonder what he's doing now.
Maybe he's decided that this isn't his life calling.
How would you like to play young everything? Like he was young Thor in Thor.
Maybe he's at that awkward age where he's too young to play, adult roles, but too old to play children roles. Maybe he's in that awkward age of acting.
Yeah, and we can only hope he's not into drugs or anything. So let's assume everything is great and he's a doctor somewhere.
He's in school, looking to study in a career that in case acting doesn't cut it for him. But I thought he
did a great job.
Did a real good job. Stayed very good in character. Mm-hmm.
And he can dance, too.
Mm-hmm.
He did a pretty good job.
He did.
Yeah, he really was. Yeah, I enjoyed him. Thumbs up from us. We have Evangeline Lilly as Bailey.
He loved you like family. And this is his home. I'm just trying not to let it die. That's my plan.
Or the Wasp, or a wasp, yeah. Yeah, so it was kind of distracting, I have to say, to have her in this movie because here she owns this washed up, well, I won't even say it's a washed up gym. I think it's just a struggling gym, let's say. It's
there you go, not washed up, because she's really trying to, it belonged to her dad, and she's really trying to keep it open for his legacy.
Yeah, Talit, I guess, is the last name, and it's Talit's gym. Anyway, but it was very distracting because, she's running this gym and she has these wings on her back and this, and she can shrink way down into small. It was a little distracting having her do that during this film.
What's interesting is she, too, was born in Canada.
Seriously? Okay.
Yes.
Are we sensing a pattern here? Is this a Canadian production?
Wow. Yeah.
No,
is it?
It's not. No, I don't think so. We just happen to have a lot of great actors that come from Canada.
There you go.
Including the next one on the list, babe. Anthony Mackie is here as Finn.
Who's ready for some destruction?
Or Falcon, however you want to see it.
Finn, Falcon.
Yeah, he only plays characters with F that start with F.
He was not born in Canada.
Oh no! Way to break that, Anthony.
He's from New Orleans.
Oh, is he? I like him. Yeah, all of these folks, they're famous now, totally famous. So we don't really have to tell you how great they are.
As we were talking about this movie came out before the whole Marvel movies began, correct?
No. It came out in the middle of it. Iron Man was, I want to say 2008 for Iron Man.
So they paid top dollar for these guys.
Yeah, boy. Well, I don't know. I mean, it was before Ant-Man came out, but I would have to look and see what the timeline is. But I guess at that time, was he already Falcon at that time? Hey, computer, when was the Falcon first on the screen?
He first played Falcon in 2014.
Thank you, computer. You set me straight. I don't know. The Marvel Universe is so huge now that I can't keep it all straight as far as timeline.
Right, yeah.
I don't remember when one came out and another did and blah, 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 blah. I don't remember all that.
Yeah, and even watching all those outtakes and extended cuts last night on YouTube, I didn't answer any of these questions that we're wondering that the computer had to answer for us.
Were all of those from Endgame? Was that all for...
It started out with Endgame, but then went on to just general interviews with the various actors and actresses.
It was cracking me up because I was in here in the studio room and you just kept watching video after video after video. You just let it play to the next one. And
I did.
Yeah, and it was like from interviews and extended scenes and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was hilarious seeing the dynamics.
It just cracked me up because that's usually my thing. And hearing someone else in there doing it, I thought, really? Valerie's watching this many Marvel behind the scenes stuff? That's funny. It cracks me up. Okay, let's move on in the cast. We have Kevin Durand playing Ricky.
Your bot don't fight, you don't get paid. Woo! How about that?
Oh my God. Or as I call him, Asshole McAsshole.
And he seems to always play that type of character in the movies. So it probably wasn't very hard for him to be another a-hole in this movie.
I always wonder that with actors and actresses. Do you really want that kind of, reputation? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess it makes it easier to act if you're always playing that type of character.
I mean, some certainly make it a career. Yeah, he was great. I say he was great because I hated everything that he did in this movie, and I couldn't wait for him to get his, which of course he's going to get his.
In this type of movie, they do. Yeah.
Nothing in this film is going to surprise anyone. Anything you think, do you think, I think it's going to go this? Yes, that's the way it's going to go. Anytime you think, I think. Go ahead.
I guess, so then now we're back to Canada. He's a native, born in Canada.
Come on, Anthony Mackie. What couldn't you have been born in Canada? Can't you go back and just edit your IMDb profile and just say that you were born in Canada, just so that we can string this illusion on just a little bit longer? Oh, really? Kevin Durant's from Canada,
Ontario.
as well.
Yep, Ontario, Canada.
Of course he is. Okay, well, fine. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Hope Davis plays Aunt Deborah.
As I've already told you, my husband, Marvin, is wealthy, and we can more than provide for Max.
Where's she from?
Aunt Deborah. Oh, yep. See, now New Jersey.
Oh, there you go.
Joyzy.
Oh, her and Anthony Mackie are screwing it up for everybody else. She wasn't in this movie very much, but I mean, she was fine. I don't think she did anything amazing, although she did talk about their money all the time.
Yeah, she was she obviously did well for herself.
That part probably wasn't that realistic. You probably don't go before the court and say, obviously, we can afford anything for this child. Give him to us.
Yes, we can take care of her.
I'm not sure that's how it works. Well, I hope that's not how it works, but maybe it does.
But she was in a Marvel movie.
Which one was she in?
She was in Captain America, Civil War. She played Maria Stark.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. So another Marvel.
So we got to So we got to watch her get killed?
Yeah, that's true. That was her part in.
She was in an accident, quote unquote accident. Poor Aunt Deborah. She didn't deserve to die.
No, she didn't. She just happened to marry the right man at the wrong time. There you go.
Well, if you think about it, she was rich in that film too, then.
Oh, that is true. So,
We have James Reburn as Marvin. That's Aunt Deborah's husband.
We're supposed to go to Italy this summer with my oldest friend and his wife. 2 months in Tuscany and all over.
Oh, just for you. Sounds nice.
We'll be back in New York by the end of August.
Who has been in everything and is no longer with us.
Oh.
Yeah, he's played in so many movies.
He died kind of young, March 21st, 2014. So just 3 years after this, the filming of this, at 65. So
just go down through his IMDb list. I'm going to kind of do it just for the heck of it right now. Just look at that list of things he's been in. He's been in so many things. Even if you don't know his name, you know him. He's that guy, and he's been in everything.
Whenever you need the rich Caucasian male. But it looks like he's done, like you said, scrolling. Oh my goodness, he was in a lot of stuff.
I just like, in the role of rich Caucasian male? That's great. James Reburn, thank you.
Summed up his career, rich Caucasian male. That's on his tombstone.
Okay, now we go to the dark side,
RCM. Babe. Okay, dark side.
Carl Yoon plays Tak Mashido.
No matter what happens in that ring, The results of any fight is inevitable. What Zeus sees, he kills.
He's so badass. This is Zeus's, I guess, how do you say it? He doesn't actually run Zeus.
I guess he's the computer genius behind Zeus. So he's not even the money behind Zeus, because that's another. We'll get to her.
Yeah, we'll get to her next.
He must be the computer brain, the computer genius behind Zeus.
I guess so. I just assumed he was the one that was running him, but he wasn't. They had a team. They had a couple guys that were doing it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The computer geeks were running the robot. And so, yeah, I was kind of thrown by that.
He just does the program. He's the programmer.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, is how I thought he was. He programs the bot.
He was fine. He didn't do anything but just have attitude throughout the whole movie. And there weren't even that many scenes with he and the next person anyway.
Right.
But we were just supposed to dislike them, much like Rocky IV. We're just supposed to, I guess I don't even want to say, do we distrust the foreigners or something? Because I don't know, a little uncomfortable with that. But no, this is very much a Rocky movie, including the next person. Olga Fonda plays Farah Lemkova.
I'd like to buy your robot. He'd be a useful sparring bot for Zeus. And for that I'm willing to pay.
Farah or Farah? I don't know I can't remember how they said it. The kid, Max, calls her out, so I'll have him tell us how her name is said.
Farah Lemkova?
That's right. He calls her name. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Max. Now we know. And I will put it in there. She was the, typical, it was like, I guess that's Russian accent. I don't know, Olga, if she's Russian or what. I mean, we're so terrible, we can't tell the difference between different Slavic accents. At least I can't. Can you? I don't know. So
yeah.
Bad for me.
She was born, and she is from Russia.
Okay, good. So that is her accent.
She got to stay with her native accent.
Yeah. To me, she was, like I said, just straight out of Rocky IV. This is the bad Russian woman, just like Rocky IV.
Today, the Soviet Union has officially entered professional boxing.
There you go. And she was fine. She's pretty, too.
Yeah, but, very much.
Anyway. Oh, and the last ones I want to talk about on this list, which is huge, by the way, the cast list. If you look at the entire cast list, this movie has a massive cast list. It goes on forever, babe. It really does. I mean, look at it. Look at the full view of the cast. Because it talks about all the guys that are we're running the robots. They all get listing. Everybody got a listing. I think most of the people in the crowd get a listing for this movie. But 3 of them that are in this film, Sophie, Tess, and Charlie Levy, that last name, play big sister, little sister, and littlest sister.
Can we get a picture with him?
Sure, for $5.
You want $5? Seriously?
No, I want $5 immediately.
Come on, guys.
How about $2.50?
You suck!
It's got to be from the rodeo. It's got to be those smart aleck
3 little
kids.
girls from the rodeo. Yeah, right there at the beginning.
And with that last name, they have to be the director's kids.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are. And they were fine, but you could kind of tell that they were just
thrown in there.
Yeah, they were just in there to be in there. That was it's like, look, now you have acting credit. It's like you're building credit at a bank. You just build acting credit by having dad put you in stuff when he's directing.
And she is the daughter. Yep, confirmed. Yep, she is the daughter of the director.
Sophie and Tess and Charlie are all 3 daughters of the director. So, yeah. All right, so let's get into it. I think that's good enough. I won't cover anybody else. If you're going to have a boxing movie, whether it be robots or otherwise, why not have Sugar Ray Leonard be your boxing consultant? That's probably a good idea, right? You can do that if your executive producer is Steven Spielberg or Robert Zemeckis, who was also a co-executive producer. So, yeah, this is quite the pedigree in this film. And yes, Sugar Ray Leonard gave boxing tips to Hugh Jackman. and said that he thought Hugh Jackman must have had some experience because he thought he was a pretty decent boxer for not having done it before.
And I guess they had quite a hefty budget. It was estimated to be $110 million budget.
Which back then, well, there are all kinds of movies that are higher than that now. Like the last Avengers movie, I think it was over 200 million. It was like $250 million or something like that.
Wow. Yeah,
well, that's what happens when you have a popular franchise and everybody wants more money each time.
Yeah. And I guess, so when this opened in the U.S. in October of 2011, it made 27 million, just over 27 million for opening weekend. So is that considered good or bad?
For that budget, not very good. Yeah, I would say that is average at best. Mm-hmm. If it were going to be a huge hit, even back in 2011, which to me just seems like yesterday, by the way. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it to you?
It does. It's
like 9 years ago. But anyway, but even back then, that was a low. Yeah, that would have been low.
Mm-hmm. And it only grossed 85,500,000 in the U.S. So so ouch. But eventually it did gross worldwide almost 300 million. So eventually made it, recouped its budget. But
depending on what its advertising cost was, that it kind of made the money back, but it wasn't a huge money maker though. So.
Right.
Well, we're part of that. We didn't go see it. Why didn't we?
Yeah.
Why didn't we?
I know, because then, like I said, I found it very enjoyable. I enjoyed this movie. Can highly recommend it to our listeners.
I can say that what I was probably, most surprised by, I guess maybe most surprised by, was the quality of the work on the robots. Mm-hmm. All of the robots looked amazing to me. I thought they looked fantastic.
Right. And some of it was... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, tell me that. Go ahead.
I was going to say some of them, some of it was CGI and some of it was real, that they actually built those robots for certain shots, and when they did those animatronic shots with the real robots, they had more than 20 puppeteers.
Yeah, and if you look at the credits, there are all kinds of puppeteer credits in there. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Oh, and man, does it show. I love it because you can tell when things are all CG, it's pretty obvious that it is. And when you have a combination, to me, that's like the perfect sweet spot. I don't want it all to be practical unless it looks fantastic, but there are some things that you want that CG help to make it more fluid, make it look not so kludgy, I should say, make it look so clunky. And this was a good combination.
And that's where Sugar Ray Leonard also came in, as many of the robot boxing fight, they were motion captured using professional boxers, supervised by Sugar Ray Leonard. I thought maybe he did, but no, he just supervised the boxers doing those motion captures.
Now, what I didn't see was who the fight choreographer was. I don't know if Sugar Ray did that as well or not, but anyway, they looked great. I thought it was all pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was impressed. Okay, this is the year 2020, babe. Do you think it really is the year 2020 with that ringtone on his phone at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, we were, like I said, the director did that on purpose. He did not want to take it far into the future. He wanted it to be more real.
Yeah, right. Have it be contemporary, but just with robots. I liked how at the very beginning when he was driving around through that wind farm, you're like, oh yeah, it's 2020. Look, there's
a wind farm.
There's a wind farm. I have a note that Danny Elfman did the music for this movie, but there was a lot of, there were all kinds of songs from like Beastie Boys and whatnot. There was Crystal Method was in there, the Crystal Method, I should say. As a matter of fact, that song, there is no way in my world that song will not be cool.
I'm right it is. What do you say, fellas? You ready for the show? Heck yeah.
Busy child.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I don't recall much about the score, except for that dude singing at the beginning, and that's definitely not Danny Elfman.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess unmemorable, maybe?
For Danny Elfman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was nothing that I said, oh, yeah, there's a Danny Elfman theme. Now, maybe if we watch it again, I'll say, oh, how did you not catch that, Eric? But he usually has a pretty distinctive style, and I didn't catch it this time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was kind of weird. Do you have any trivia?
Yeah, there's lots of trivia
I'm
on
sure
this.
there is. This is a Spielberg production. So.
Yeah, I mean, part of, again, why the director chose not to go real far into the future is he, like I said, he didn't want the extreme sci-fi. He said even though the cell phones, like you said, he knew that the cell phone that they used would be not true to form just 5 to 10 years later, that it would no longer be futuristic. But he said, a diner is a diner is a diner. So he just really wanted it to. And then he also chose to film the movie in Michigan because he really liked the look of the Model T automobile plant
that looked
near Detroit, and he thought that would be the perfect set for the first fight scene. So
I think that overall the sets in general, a lot of the night ones, especially when they're out fighting, like on the lower circuit of fights, taking what they can out there. It reminded me a lot of AI. The movie, there was that one scene in particular where there were flames and everything, and I thought all they need to be doing is ripping apart robots, and this would be straight out of AI.
Yeah, and that was the scene at the zoo with Kingpin.
That was it. Yeah, the zoo.
Was it the zoo?
The zoo was Kingpin. Yeah. Yeah, that was the dude. That's when it turned into Mad Max for a while. I don't know what the deal was with that.
That's right. That is the Mad Max feel.
Yeah, it was suddenly we were in Punk Town, and I couldn't really figure that one out. But I like it. I love that aesthetic. It's one of my favorites in movies, but it was kind of weird. It was like we suddenly went to Theme Town for a while.
Yeah. And that, too, was, like I said, a kind of a Midas, the main robot, that their first fight with the junkyard robot. They fought it with Midas, and his whole design with the Roman centurion helmet that was a nod to Clubber, Mr. T's character.
Oh, Clubber
in Rocky
Lang.
III.
Yeah, there you go. Clubber Lang.
Yeah. So there again, a kind of a...
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah. I didn't even think about it. It's been so long since I've seen Rocky III that we need to revisit that sometime. Yeah, the robot designs in general were pretty cool. I don't know about the two-headed one. That was kind of goofy.
Yeah, it was kind of goofy.
But other than that, yeah, I thought they were all pretty darn cool looking. And when they first got the Japanese robot, in my mind, I had forgotten what the cover looked like of the movie. I would have known it wasn't him that they were going to use. But I thought, oh, this isn't a washed up. I thought they were going to build something from scrap. This guy's not washed up. That's a cool looking robot. I should have known better. I should have known better. So he wasn't going to last long. But man, he was cool. I did notice right near the beginning, I was saying to you, I said, man, this is a well-shot movie. I was like, this is really, the cinematography is pretty great in this film. And so I had to look up who the director of photography was for it. And it's Mauro Fiore, who also did Avatar, Training Day, The Island. So yeah, he's big time. And as a matter of fact, I think he has an Oscar for Avatar.
Awesome.
So, yeah, the DP is a good one. Of course, Spielberg is executive producer. Zemeckis is a co-executive producer. If nothing else, it's going to look great.
And now I don't think we tied in Dakota Goya, the Max, the son.
What about him?
Tied him into Marvel. He has a tie-in to Marvel, too.
He played young what? Thor. He played young Thor. Yeah, I mentioned that when we were...
Okay, you did
that's fine.
That.
No, that's fine. No, go do it again. Yeah, he just plays young everyone. Well, yeah, like I said, it could just be a Marvel movie. Just rebrand it. Put a new logo at the beginning. Play the Avengers theme, and you got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
That whole country fair scene at the beginning.
Yeah, the rodeo.
The rodeo. That whole county fair, rather than filming one, I mean, because if you go through Mid-America and, through the summer, fall, there's always a county fair going on. It wouldn't have taken much for them to come across one to film, but they didn't. They actually built that whole country fair on a farm specifically for this movie. So, they could have saved themselves a little bit of a budget. But
and just put a smattering of fans up in the stand. There weren't that many people watching this one.
Yeah. And the bullfight, they actually used 2 different bulls for those scenes. And the bull that did most of the quote acting, the action, only had 1 horn, so they had to CGI a second horn in.
Oh, really?
On that bull.
All I was thinking during that scene is, man, I bet PETA doesn't like this opening scene.
Yeah.
As the robot punches the bull and knocks it to the ground. It's just beating on that thing. I thought, no matter the size of that bull, that robot was huge. I don't know if that bull could. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could. Okay, what other trivia do you have? Do you have something else?
Okay, so there's lots of trivia, but I don't want to jump us too far into so there's a lot of trivia when it comes to Zeus. But I guess when we first meet, because we do meet Zeus right at the beginning, right?
What was that now? What about Zeus?
We do meet Zeus right towards the beginning.
Well, they're talking, the kid, his son, is excited. That's the first time I remember Zeus being mentioned, is when they are unboxing the robot, and he's talking about Zeus. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember he did this, blah, blah, blah.
And he takes them to, that's true, when he's unboxing. And then he also takes them to, I think that's the first fight that the kid and Hugh Jackman tells, Charlie tells Max to, now stay here, don't wander off. And he actually gets to, and Zeus even looks at him as he goes through. So do you remember the name of the fighter in one of the Rocky films? Because Zeus was a kickoff from Rocky, from the same theme of naming them after the god, so was Rocky Apollo.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Was a Greek mythology.
Oh,
so
seriously?
Is Zeus.
That is the time. I was wondering I was going back through Rocky films saying, where was Zeus? I don't remember a Zeus.
So Zeus
Apollo, Creed.
Yeah, the knockoff of Apollo for Greek mythology.
Oh, okay. That's kind of like, I don't know. That's kind of like late. And I named this one Aphrodite, like Apollo in the Rocky movie.
Okay. But if you're looking for tie-ins, but the whole you get your typical montage.
Oh, I love montages. Okay, I've talked about that several times in this movie. So much gets done in a montage. It's my favorite thing ever. You can train somebody to peak condition. You can build amazing projects. You can bond with someone instantly over the course of 2 minutes, and you're done. Oh, I love montages. And they usually have cool music for them, too. I just want a whole movie. I've said it before. I want a whole movie that's just one montage after another, and then the movie ends, and everything is fantastic and built, and everybody loves one another.
Well, we'll have to search for, I bet you there's a montage movie based in 2020.
I bet there is, too.
We'll find it, and we'll podcast on it.
There are so many things. We've talked about tropes, or, this follows right down the lines of all of those types of things in fighting movies. But there are so many things that have to happen so conveniently, like what will be their robot saves the kid as he's sliding down that mud hill, and almost going over the cliff, and he gets hung up on the robot's hand. Things like that have to happen. This is heroic journey stuff here we have going. That was pretty funny, but so cool. But we like it. We know it. We know exactly what's going to happen, yet we like it anyway, and it gets us teary-eyed, and it works every single time it's tried.
So here's a little bit of trivia for our listeners if they want to look for what I guess I would call Easter eggs of this movie. So they're in the scene where Adam is about to enter the ring before fighting Zeus.
Okay.
Hugh Jackman, I guess he's made it known to the public that he admires the boxer Manny Pacquiao. Is that how you say it?
Pacquiao.
So he has made it public that he enjoys
Manny Pacquiao. There you go.
That he enjoys that boxer. So if you look closely at the the case that he carries Adam's remote control in.
Uh-huh.
So at hour marker, 1 hour, 40 minutes, 34 seconds, that area, on the box is a sticker of the Philippine flag.
Oh, okay. So that's how he did that.
And then you get another view of the case before that at the 1 hour, 20 minute, 43 second mark, just before Adam's fight at Twin City, or with Twin Cities, the two-headed robot.
Twin Cities. Oh my God. That's really cool. No, now we have to buy this movie just so we can watch stuff like that.
Little Easter egg.
Catch things like that.
And also on Noisy Boy, a little Easter egg there that we didn't talk about him much yet. So after Charlie's robot gets butchered in the rodeo scene,
right,
he buys this world-renowned robot Noisy Boy. It's just awesome. I mean, that is cool just looking. And who gets destroyed in his first fight, which was it's like, $50,000 down the drain. Well, 45,000. But the LED lights on his fists, if you look closely, they actually spell out the Japanese characters like Doom, Pain, Oblivion, the end.
Really?
As he's
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome robot. And dead now. Sorry.
I know, and it didn't last very long. I thought all the work they put into, I'm sure that they actually, again, like all these robots had an actual animatronic version. That was an awesome robot.
Yeah,
out of all of them, I really liked the look of that one. I would have to say the best.
That was the part of the film that when they first revealed that one, I thought, Kevin's going to love this.
Yeah.
That's totally right up Kevin's alley. This turns into a road movie partway through. See, it has everything. I love road movies, and this has a good one.
Road movie with a roadside motel.
Yeah. Kid teaching the robot to dance. Oh, it's all...
That was cute.
It's so good.
Where he's teaching the kid. Yeah, and we kind of knew right at the beginning when they found the junkyard robot, brought it back to... That's where Bailey ties in her boxing gym. She has learned to obviously work on these boxing robots, and she detects right off that, this robot has like a shadow effect. And it's like, so we knew that was going to come in.
Oh, yeah. You knew that was coming. Yep.
Like I said, predictable. This was a fairly predictable movie, but it still was enjoyable.
There was the one scene with Evangeline Lilly where she was discussing Hugh Jackman's boxing career with a kid. That I wondered what the actress thought of that. Saying all of that. It just seemed so, I don't know. It was like stereotypical. He was the best. And he bobbed and weaved, and that's the man I fell in love with. He didn't quit. He just kept coming forward.
Top contender number 2 in the world, and Charlie was dancing with him. Pop, pop, bam, pop. Charlie was floating inches off the canvas that night. He's like a ghost. Nico couldn't even see him. I could. He was beautiful. He was beautiful.
And I thought, oh man, by about the 5th time they had to film that scene, she's probably, come on. This dialogue, guys, come on.
Yeah, she's probably thinking, can you give me maybe a little bit better so I don't feel like I'm a teenage schoolgirl fawning over a...
Right. Can we have a scene where I don't have to talk about the guy?
Yeah, and how awesome he is.
Exactly. One thing I do not like in pretty much any sports movie ever is the way that they portray reporters.
Yeah.
I think most films in general cannot get reporters right at all. They sound so canned, and I mean it's so obviously dialogue for a movie. It's not even a type of questions they would actually ask someone or the tone that they would use in asking them. And this one has a really bad one. I'll play it right here.
They say your father's the money and you are the mind behind Zeus.
What did it take to lure the reclusive genius, former boy wonder, and arguably the most important bot designer in the history of the sport out of retirement?
Why don't you ask him yourself?
That guy is terrible.
Yeah.
He is terrible.
So there again, is it the the script, or is it who they cast in?
I think it's the script. I think it's the way they write things like that. They have a cadence, and what they ask is just it sounds like a script. It's not. It doesn't sound realistic at all, and I never like it. I just don't like it. It's like announcers. I pretty much don't like the announcers ever in sports movies either, because they're much the same way. I think they sound fake too to me for the most part. So, what else you have?
Well, let's see. They, as you watch this, you can see several product placements. There's one where Hugh Jackman is outside of the motel. He's drinking a Dr. Pepper, and you think that that's a product placement, but it really wasn't. They didn't do that on purpose. What one did you say?
Budweiser. He's drinking Budweiser at the beginning.
Yeah. Xbox.
There's
Xbox. Several. Bing.
Yes, Bing. Yes, Bing Arena. Yeah.
Then we see a Tesla.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. There was a Tesla in there?
Yep, that was the car driven by Tax Machito.
Oh, okay, that's what they arrived in, was a Tesla.
Yep, Tesla.
I didn't even notice it. They must have shown the logo at the front. Yeah.
Tesla Roadster. Yeah. So yeah, those were some product placements that you could see.
One of the tropes that I do like in sci-fi, I guess I do, it's always the same, and I had to stop and mention it when it came up. Anytime you have science fiction and someone is listing names of famous people, like for instance, it's like the greats of art, they will mention two from the past that everyone knows, and they'll mention one from the future that none of us know.
Yeah.
The term for this is famous, fictional.
And so just to tie the past, Star Trek is terrible about doing this. They do it all the time. And it's always the same. You name two famous people know from the past, and then one that you don't. So this one has one of those, and here it is right now.
You think all the greats, think Ali, Sugar Ray, Prince Rakeem, Gamma, they all had their nicknames, they had their personas, right? They all had flair.
Okay, moving on. What other trivia you have? I'm enjoying your trivia this time. I really am.
Well, that's the main trivia. There was a little bit more trivia. So they give a nod to WWE legend Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
As his entry into the ring. So think about Hulk Hogan entering the ring. So the match against Adam and the champion Zeus. Zeus mimics Hogan's signature pose.
Oh, okay. Seeing, not knowing enough about it, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, when he does the, and I made the comment as like, oh, look, he does the guns, he does the both hands off to the side, and then he does like cocks a gun. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Hulk
his
Hogan
move. See, and everyone who knows wrestling is saying, of course that's right, Eric. And I don't know it.
How he poses with his hands, yeah.
And he also was in Rocky 3.
Thunder Lips is here. In the flesh, baby.
Oh my God.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
There you go. It all goes back to the Rocky movies. I have to mention a few things that I questioned. Okay, and this is one of those. Okay. You have a robot that mirrors your moves and learns them by doing that, right? Because they said not only does it just mirror what you do, but it learns from you. When Hugh Jackman, when his character is teaching him to box, he should only have to do that move once. He shouldn't have to stand in front of him and do one after another. Just show him one uppercut and the robot should know it. So that robot, if it learns like that, it should be unstoppable because it will know all of the moves. So instantly, as soon as you do it once. So yeah.
Should. Yeah, should. Unless he was, my thing was like, well, maybe he was showing him same moves but different sequences.
Yeah.
So if he was trying to teach him sequences, he did the same move but in different sequences.
Why during the fights does Hugh Jackman talk to the robot like get out of the corner, get out of it? Doesn't he realize that his voice commands it has to be block, punch, do things like that.
Yeah,
when
Steph
he's
left,
just
Steph right.
yeah, when he's just saying, "No, go out and get out of there, go run this way." Why doesn't the robot just turn and run for the other side of the ring? Because he told
That's
him.
true. Get out of the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think that he would. Uh-huh.
He gave him so many non-boxing moves that he said over that headset that it just cracked me up. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even seem to turn the headset off when he's talking to his son. So the robot is just getting commands the entire time that he's talking to his son, right?
You're right.
Shouldn't he be doing all of that too? I want to see
exactly.
I want to just see a scene of dialogue at the ringside and just see what the robot is interpreting that as in the background. That would be really funny.
That would be. Now here's some continuity. I don't think I got this one. So after Max, so Max finds the robot discarded in the junkyard, and Charlie says, you got to get him out yourself. So he and Max does, Max brings him out, and when you first see Adam, he's just covered in mud.
Yeah, from sliding down.
Right. So then he loads the robot onto the truck, the tractor trailer that they haul him around in, and you get a shot back from the cab. Adam is clean.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't catch that at all.
And then when we get him back to the gym, he's covered in mud again. So look for that shot through the cab at marker 41 minutes, 16 seconds, and you'll see that continuity issue.
He's clean, he's not. He's clean, he's not. Huh?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Clean, not. And then the other continuity is kind of, okay, Zeus is fighting with Axelrod, I guess is one right there at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And Max says, "Oh, look, Zeus threw punch after punch," because this was where Zeus hits Axelrod and decapitates him.
Oh, okay. Takes his head off? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not punch after punch. Zeus
It's
actually only
shot.
threw 2 punches.
Boom, boom, gone.
2 punches, and then he's decapitated with the second punch, not punch after punch. So a little bit of dialogue continuity issues.
Okay, I'm going to step back to Bailey for just a second. That was her name, right? This is Bailey. Charlie is kind of making moves on her at the beginning of the movie, and she's like, "No, we're not going there. Nope, this isn't happening," right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they split up. She wants him to leave. She doesn't really want him to leave, but that's what happens. And that's when they go on the road and do all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When things go rock bottom, he just shows up at her place and gets into bed with her. Where did that come from? Yeah. Is she okay with him doing that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they weren't having sex or anything, but it was just like he comes in and big spoons her.
And just makes himself at home. It's like, would a lady really
and they zoom in,
allow that?
They kind of go in on her face, and she gets this half smile like, "Oh, he's here." And she's glad that he's there, showing up out of the blue after she kicked him out of her gym. Well, because she knew he hit rock bottom, I guess, huh? And that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty much from there on, they're together because she shows up in the last fight.
Right.
And does all of that. So, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
because the script said so. That's why.
There's a nod to the iconic game Rock'em Sock'em Robots,
which I always wanted and never got. Darn it.
Oh, you never got Rock'em Sock'em?
No.
I don't think we ever owned it either.
Oh, God, I wanted one so bad. Anyway.
But I think as a kid, somebody owned it and we were able to play it. But anyways, there's a little bit of a nod to that game during the Adam and Zeus fight, the very final fight where, like you said, Machido in the audience gets upset and he says, "Come on, my robot can do better than that." And he finally just goes down and he pushes those 2 guys out of the way and he grabs the...
Oh, when he went to manual mode.
Yeah, manual mode, and he grabs the 2 simple joysticks and moves them just like you would in Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Which also had the added benefit of giving his robot more energy somehow when he went to manual mode, because the whole idea was the robot was running out of steam. Its battery was going dead.
Which is what Charlie was waiting for. Everybody kept saying, do him in. No, it's not time. Because he was waiting for the champion boxer to get tired.
It was the classic Rocky rope-a-dope. Yep. That's when Rocky says, "Come on." As a matter of fact, I said, I bet he's going to say, "Come on." And he did. The robot raised his hand and did the "come on."
Yeah, taunted.
Oh, it was so predictable, but I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Oh, as a matter of fact, okay. Now, the robot gets the crap beaten out of him. And was it a montage? I don't think it was. It was in those middle rounds anyway, where he goes to the corner and Hugh Jackman opens up his back and he splices two wires back together again. It's like this big wire. It's like, seriously, this high-tech robot just has, oh, here's the problem. This wire came unattached. I'm going to twist it back together again. Anyway, I thought that was funny because it was so low-tech. I thought, no, I don't think that's happening in that robot. Anyway, there was even a scene after that in the montage when he's using like a sander on him, a grinder, I should say. He's using a grinder on him at one point, which was hilarious. Yeah, you're going to have to watch that again because it's in that montage sequence. When you do the middle rounds, just like a Rocky movie, you have you have your fighter in trouble at the beginning all through those first couple rounds. And then you have a montage of the middle rounds. And then you have the championship round. And they did it just like that. And it was during that montage. Yeah, he was grinding on his back, something behind him with a grinder. Yeah. Oh my God.
And that does all come, like you said, the whole scene of wearing him down, Charlie wearing him down and taunting comes from, I guess, a real life professional fight between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman.
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
Yep.
The rope-a-dope, like I said. Rope-a-dope. Which is where Rocky got the idea, and he did the same thing in pretty much all his movies. So there you go. And how does it end? We won't tell you.
Watch it.
Does it end the way you think it does? Which Rocky will it be? Will it be the original Rocky or all the rest of them?
Does the boy get to stay with the dad or not?
Will we have robot boxing in 2020? Is this movie realistic?
Could be.
Obviously, we enjoyed it. We think you should watch it too. There you go.
There you go.
And as a 2020 movie, this was much better than The Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet from last week.
Yes, I have to say I did not get sleepy at all through this movie.
Did you stay awake? You stayed awake.
Oh, yeah. It kept my attention.
Well, it does have Hugh Jackman in it.
Yeah, had some nice eye candy.
Yeah. And Evangeline Lilly. She's very good looking. Yeah. And Anthony Mackie. He's very good looking too. So there are lots of... We won't talk about the kid. Creepy.
No, that's not... The kid's not eye candy.
Let's not go there.
Definitely Hugh Jackman and Anthony.
Yeah,
Mackie.
exactly.
Yep, definitely eye candy with both of those.
If you'd like to share your thoughts on real steel or steel that's real or fake steel, if you want to share your thoughts about fake steel, you may do so. Cavebabble@gmail.com or head on over to cavebabble.com, see a list of our shows, pick one that you would like to listen to, please. You may subscribe on iTunes. We would appreciate that. And if you like what you hear, give us a review, please. Also, you can join our Facebook group. Search for Cavebabble Podcast, ask to join the group, and we will accept you. I promise we will. We are part of the PNR Network's family of shows, which includes all the 50 kabillion shows that T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown are part of. And as a whole, PNR Networks has a patron circle over at patreon.com/PNR Networks. For $5 a month, you could earn exclusive articles, podcasts, giveaways, get-togethers, online meetings and chats, special merchandise, and more. Head on over to patreon.com/PNR Networks and check it out. We would appreciate it. And that's about it. Anything else at the end, babe?
No, just like we reserved and checked out this movie from our local public library. So it was not streaming. So that's how we had to see this.
Well, it is if you want to purchase it, but if you want to watch it
that
free,
is true.
We have it on Blu-ray at the library. I'm not sure why. I guess I know why now, because it's a good movie. And it's definitely one that benefits from Blu-ray. So
yeah, and we probably will add it to our collection because I think it is one that would make a good family movie once Kais is a little bit older.
I have far, far worse science fiction in my collection than this.
Yes, so true.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for all the downloads and listens. And until next week, we're out of here.
Goodbye.
Bye. Body blow. Body blow.
body
Uppercut.
blow. Uppercut. Yeah.
Stand aside. Get out of the corner, Valerie. Get out of the corner.
Block.
Zeus is going to kill you. Decapitation. Bye.
Bye.
Cavebabble.
This is the potty break with Valerie. This is the potty break with Valerie. She's gonna go potty, go, pee. This is the potty break with Valerie. Yeah. This is the potty break with Valerie. I hear it. There comes the water coming down the pipe, down through the basement. She's got to be done. Here comes Valerie. She's done with her potty break. Here comes Valerie. Come on, let's go. Dun, 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 boom, 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 boom.
Okie dokie.
All right.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRnetworks.com